I stand with my family at the airport and hold my small bag tight. My mom says she will use the restroom quickly, just before boarding. My stomach feels tight, even though everything looks normal. Why does this moment suddenly feel wrong? This story is told in easy American English, and subtitles are available in many languages. I am 8 years old, and the vacation is almost over. I feel that already in the morning. My dad closes the suitcases. The zipper sounds loud. I do not like this sound. It means goodbye. My sister runs through the room. She is taller than me. She looks calm. I watch her and try to be just as calm. I do not want to stand out. I do not want to be a problem. A taxi waits outside. The air is warm. My mom says we have enough time. She smiles. That smile calms me. I sit in the car and look out the window. Palm trees glide past. The sun blinds me a little. I think about the ocean. I think about the last day on the beach. I found a shell and kept it. Now I press it in my pocket. It feels smooth. That calms me. The airport is huge. Everything is loud. Suitcases roll across the floor. People talk over each other. I do not understand everything, but I feel the rush. I walk close behind my mom. That makes me feel safe. My dad walks ahead. He holds the passports. My sister walks beside him. I am in the middle. My mom is right behind me. I feel her near me. That gives me strength. We line up. I see signs. I see long lines. I do not know exactly where we go, but my dad knows. So I simply follow. At security, I must put my bag down. The belt moves slowly. A man tells me to raise my arms. I do it. I feel small. I do not like this feeling. After security, everything is brighter. There are many lights, many colors. My sister says she is hungry. My dad says, later. Mom only nods. We walk to the gate. Gate means the door to the plane. I hear this word clearly for the first time. I keep it in mind. I remember words when I feel unsure. At the gate, many people sit. Some talk, some sleep, some look at screens. We sit down. My mom stays standing. She looks at the board, then at her watch. Then she bends toward me. Her voice is soft. She says she needs the restroom again. She says we should head to boarding when it starts. She says it calmly, as if it is nothing special. I nod. I want to be good. I do not want to ask. I do not want to cling. So I say nothing. A voice on the speaker calls something. People stand up. Boarding begins. Boarding means we enter the plane. I do not fully get it, but I see it. My dad stands up. My sister stands up. I stand up. I turn around once more. My mom is not there. First, I think she will come soon. Soon is a short moment for me. Maybe 10 seconds. Maybe 20. But the line moves. We walk forward. I pull on Dad's sleeve. I say that Mom is still gone. My voice sounds thin. Dad does not look back. He only says she will take the next flight. His voice is calm. That confuses me. I look at my sister. She looks at the floor. She says nothing. She seems normal. Too normal. Now we stand right at the door. A man scans our tickets. People behind us push. I feel pressure on my back. I want to stop. I want to wait. But my feet keep moving. We walk through the tunnel to the plane. The tunnel is narrow. The air is cool. I hear footsteps. I hear bags. I hold my bag tight. In the plane, I see many seats, small windows. Dad points to our row. We sit down. I sit at the window. My sister sits next to me. Dad sits on the aisle. The seat next to him stays empty. I stare at that empty seat. I think, soon she will come. Soon she will sit down. Soon she will say my name. Then I hear a hard click. The door closes, and inside me it becomes quiet. The plane rolls slowly along the runway. I sit still and look straight ahead. The empty seat beside Dad is like a hole. I cannot look away. Again and again I stare at it. Again and again I hope she suddenly sits there. The engine grows louder. My head starts to press. The pressure comes and goes. First light, then stronger. I rest my forehead on the cold window. That helps a little. Outside, everything moves faster. Then the plane lifts off. My stomach tightens. I hold my breath. Usually Mom speaks now. She says that everything is fine. She says I do not need to fear. Now no one says anything. I turn to Dad. I ask quietly when Mom is coming. He answers calmly without looking at me. He says she will follow later. He says I should not worry. His voice is firm. Too firm. That does not calm me. I nod anyway. I want to believe him. I want everything normal again. My head hurts again. It throbs behind my eyes. I close them for a second. When I open them, the seat is still empty. Time passes slowly. I do not know how long we fly. Minutes feel like hours. My sister sits next to me. She looks forward. I ask her if she misses Mom too. She only shrugs. She says Dad said everything is okay. Then she turns away. That makes me silent. A woman brings food. I take it because they give it to me. I eat a bit. It tastes dry. I drink water. My head hurts again. I say nothing. I keep looking down the aisle. Every sound makes me jump. Footsteps, voices. But no one comes to us. The flight ends. The plane lands hard. I press my lips together. People clap. I do not clap. I stand when everyone stands. I stay close to Dad. I fear losing him. We walk through the airport. I hold my bag tight. I look left and right. I search for her face. I search for her hair. I search for her jacket. Only strangers everywhere. No one waves. No one calls my name. At the exit, we stop briefly. I think, now she comes. Right now. But Dad walks on. He says nothing. So I walk with him. Outside it is cold, very different from vacation. I zip my jacket. My head hurts again. I tell Dad that I feel bad. He lays his hand on my shoulder for a moment. He says we are almost home. The car is quiet. The streets are dark. Lights flash past. I lean my head off the glass. My eyes grow heavy. I think again and again of the airport, of the restroom, of the waiting. The pressure in my head grows. Then it eases for a moment. Then worse again. At home, we go inside. The apartment smells the same. My shoes stand there. Everything is in its place. I look at the door automatically. It does not open. Dad says I should go to bed. My sister slips into her room. I stand a moment in the hall. I hear Dad in the kitchen. Glasses clink. Steps, normal sounds. In my room, I change clothes. I lie in bed. The light is off. My head still hurts. I turn on my side. I wait for steps in the hall, for her voice, for anything. Nothing happens. Next morning, I wake up. The headache is gone. For a moment, I forget everything. Then I remember. I jump up and run to the kitchen. Dad drinks coffee. He reads the paper. He says good morning. So calm, so normal. I ask if Mom is coming today. He looks at me and says, yes, later. I sit at the table. I nod. I eat my bread. Everything feels wrong, but no one reacts. And slowly, I learn that questions have no place here. The days after feel empty. I go to school as if nothing happened. My backpack is heavy, not only from weight. In my head it is quiet and loud at once. I hear the voices of the other kids. I hear the laughter. Everything sounds far away. At school I wonder if I should say something, if I should tell that my mom is still missing. But no one asks. So I say nothing either. I sit at my desk and stare at the notebook before me. The letters blur for a moment. My head begins to press again. It comes and goes. After school, I walk home. I unlock the door. I hear steps in the apartment. My dad is there. He asks how school was. I say, "Good." The word comes automatically. It feels empty. I look into the kitchen. No sign of her. I look into the living room. Nothing. Her spot is empty, but nobody says a word. So I learn not to look. In the evening, we eat together. Dad sits at the table as always. My sister tells something from school. She even laughs. I watch her. I wonder how she can do that, how you can laugh when someone is gone. I try it too. It feels wrong. I ask Dad when Mom is coming. He answers calmly. He says, "Soon." He always says it the same way. Always the same word. Soon. I remember this word. It has no time. It has no date. It just floats. Days turn into weeks. The weeks grow longer. I do not count them anymore. Now I only count the steps in the hall at night. Each time I hope there are more, that a door opens, that a voice appears. But nothing changes. My head hurts more often. At school, at home, sometimes in the middle of the night. I wake and stare into the dark. I hear my breath. I hold it a moment. Then I breathe out again. That keeps me calm. I keep going to school. I play with other kids. I run. I laugh. For brief moments, I forget everything. Then it returns. Always when I am alone. Once I ask my sister directly. I ask if she misses Mom. She looks at me shortly. Then she says that everything is okay. She says Dad takes care. Then she goes to her room. The door closes softly. That does something to me. I withdraw. I talk less. I think more. I watch everything closely. I memorize voices, movements, moods. I learn how normal feels even when it is wrong. Sometimes I picture Mom walking through the door right now. I picture how she looks at me, how she says it was all a big mistake. These images are clear, almost too clear. Then they fade again. Dad works a lot. In the evenings, he often sits still. He watches TV without really watching. I sometimes sit next to him. We say nothing. The silence feels heavy but also safe. Words seem dangerous. At school, a teacher once asks if everything is all right. I nod at once. The nod is faster than my thoughts. I do not want attention. I do not want to explain. He looks at me briefly, then walks on. So I learn that silence gets you through. A month passes, then another. Nobody talks about my mom anymore, not even me. The thought hurts too much, so I push it away. I become good at it. Sometimes when my head aches, I just lie down. I close my eyes. I picture a place where everything is quiet. She is there too. But she says nothing. She only looks at me. And slowly I start to believe that this feeling is my new home. Years pass, and no one counts them. I grow older without really noticing it. My body grows, my voice changes, my life moves on, but something stands still. In the apartment, very little changes. The furniture is still there. Some things disappear slowly. First her jacket, then her shoes. Later, even her spot in the closet. No one says anything about it. Things just drift away, as if they had never been there. I keep going to school. I study. I get good grades. Teachers praise me. My dad nods with pride. My sister is away often. She has friends. She laughs a lot. I watch her from afar. I no longer fully understand her. At home, we talk about daily things. About food, about appointments, about the weather. Never about my mom. That topic does not exist. And if something is absent, you cannot miss it. At least I tell myself that. Sometimes I try to remember her voice, her hands, her smell, but the pictures grow fuzzy. They lose details. I get scared of that, so I stop. My dad gets quieter over the years. He works a lot. At night he often sits long in the living room. The TV is on, but I do not think he truly watches. Sometimes I sit with him. We sit side by side. Two bodies. Little closeness. I ask no questions anymore. Questions bring nothing. I have learned that. Questions bring only short answers, or to looks that say stop talking. At school, other kids talk about their moms, about hugs, about fights, about rules. I listen and nod. I act as if everything is normal. I have become good at that. Sometimes I still feel the headaches. They come less often. But they are there. Especially on days when I think too much. Then I lie down. I wait until it gets better. It always gets better. Eventually, I become a teenager. I withdraw. I spend much time alone, in my room, with music, with thoughts. I write things down that I show no one. I don't know why. It feels necessary. My sister moves out at some point. She says goodbye quickly. She hugs me. That feels strange. Then she is gone. I remain alone with my dad. The apartment is even quieter now. I am 16, 17, 18. Birthdays come and go. Presents lie on the table. Well wishes are said. I smile. I say thank you. I think of something else. No one asks about my mom anymore. Me neither. It feels like we all signed a silent contract. We keep living, without explanation. Sometimes I ask if I imagined it all, if she ever truly existed. Then I find an old photo. She is on it. She smiles, beside me, beside my sister, beside my dad. I put the photo away again. I begin to see that normal is not truth. Normal is only what no one questions for long. When I turn 18, I move out. My first own apartment. My dad helps me carry boxes. We talk about furniture, about rent, about dates. He wishes me luck. His voice trembles briefly. Then it is over. When he leaves, I stand alone in the room. The door clicks shut. I hear the sound. It sounds like back in the plane, short, hard, final. I sit down on the floor. For the first time in years, I allow the thought. I let it be fully there, without pushing it away, without smoothing it. My mother has vanished, and no one has ever told me why. I sit like that for a long time. And for the first time, the silence feels unsafe. It feels like a question that finally speaks aloud. The apartment is quiet, too quiet. I hear every sound, the fridge, the heater, my own steps. I am alone now, truly alone for the first time. The first weeks feel strange. I come home from work and no one asks how my day was. I eat what I want. I go to bed when I want. This freedom feels good at first. Then it feels empty. One day a letter lies in the mailbox. The envelope is light. My name is on it. The handwriting is calm. Even. I stop in the stairwell. I read my name again and again. No one writes me letters. No one except offices. But this feels different. I pocket the letter and walk upstairs. In the apartment, I lay it on the table. I take off my jacket. I wash my hands. I do everything slowly. I do not know why I hesitate. Then I open the envelope. The letter is short. No address, no explanation. Only a few lines. They are friendly, careful. The person writes about the day, about the weather, about small thoughts. At the end, there is no name. I read the letter twice, then a third time. I feel a light pull in my head. Not real pain, more a pressure, a known feeling. I do not know who it is. I put the letter away. I tell myself it means nothing. Someone made a mistake. The next day, I hardly think of it. Almost not. 2 weeks later, another letter arrives. Same envelope, same handwriting. Again my name. My heart beats faster. I close the door behind me and open the letter at once. Again short lines, again calm, again without a name. I read about a walk, about an evening thought, about a feeling of closeness though far away. This line stays with me, near yet distant. I sit at the table for a long time. I begin to answer. Without knowing why, I write carefully. Neutral. I tell nothing important, only daily life, about work, about the weather. At the end, I write no name. I do not know whom I write to. I mail the letter. Weeks pass. Letters come. Letters go. Always the same. Always calm. Never personal. Yet they feel personal. I wait for them. I catch myself checking the mailbox every day. Sometimes nothing comes. Then I grow restless. I go down more often. I look again. When a letter is there, I breathe out. I often ask myself who this person is. I wonder if I should ask. But I do not. I have learned that questions change things. And I do not want change. Once I write about my childhood. Only briefly, without details. I do not mention my mom, but I write about waiting, about things never explained. The answer comes faster than before. The letter is longer. The handwriting seems a bit shaky. The person writes that they know the feeling, that waiting can last a whole life, that some things do not vanish even when unspoken. I read these lines again and again. Something inside me starts to move, very slowly, like a thought too shy to finish. I compare the handwriting with old things, with cards, with memories. I find nothing. Yet something feels familiar, too familiar. I think of my mom, for the first time in years without pain, only with a quiet tension. I do not push the thought away. I let it be for a moment. Then I set the letter aside. I tell myself I imagine it, that I am tired, that it is chance. I keep writing, week after week, year after year, and without saying it aloud, I start to write differently, more personal, more honest, as if someone really sees me. I still do not know who writes to me, but I know these letters stay, and they keep alive something inside me that I had silenced for long. The years pass, and the letters stay. They come often, not every week, not every month, but always when I need them. I don't know before. I see it only when the envelope sits in the mailbox. I am now in my late 20s. My life is calm. I work, I have colleagues, acquaintances, sometimes dates. No one stays long, and that does not bother me. For me, closeness is something you must control. The letters are part of my daily life. I read them at night, always at the table, always with a glass of water. It is a firm ritual, and rituals give me stability. With time, the letters change. The sentences grow longer, more personal. She no longer writes only about the day. She writes about feelings, guilt, and things you cannot undo. One evening I read a line that will not let me go. She writes that she sees me before her every day. Not as I am now, but as I was then, 8 years old, at the airport. My heart stops for a moment. I read the line again and again. My head starts to press. This old feeling is back. I stand up and pace the room. My hands tremble slightly. I write back, for the first time not careful, for the first time direct. I ask how she knows that, why she writes that, who she is. The answer arrives faster than usual. The envelope looks the same, but my hands feel strange when I open it. I read slowly, very slowly. She writes that she kept silent for a long time, too long, that she feared hurting me, feared breaking everything. She writes that she is my mother. I read the line many times. I read it until it loses its shape. My chest tightens. I sit down. I stand again. I do not know what to do. She adds that she is endlessly sorry, that there is no day she doesn't think of it. She has never forgotten the airport moment and knows how wrong everything was. I grip the letter so hard the paper crackles. She writes that she cannot tell me where she is, not now, maybe never. She begs me not to dig, not to search, because she could not bear it and fears loss. I read these lines with tears in my eyes. They come softly, without sobbing, just like that. Voices fight inside me. One wants answers, one wants to run, one wants to scream. Another wants to hold the letter and change nothing. I write back. My hands are steady, though I am not. I write that I always knew it, not clearly, but deep inside. That I have many questions, too many, but that I respect her request. I write that it hurts, that it has always hurt. Yet I am glad she lives, that she writes, that she exists, even if she is far away. The letters after that are different, more honest, heavier. She writes more about guilt. I write more about my life. We move carefully around each other, like two people who love but fear to touch. I turn 30, then 35. The letters stay. She never asks for my address. I never ask for hers. We keep this boundary. It is invisible but strong. Sometimes I think about searching for her. Maybe I could. But then I read her words again, her request, and I pause. These letters are all we have, and I fear that the truth would destroy them. The letters come often, not on a set plan, but always steady. Sometimes 2 weeks pass between them, sometimes longer. I do not think about it anymore. It is part of my life, like my commute or the evening light. I am in my mid-30s. My days feel calm. I get up, drive to work, come home at night. I cook, I read, I write letters. Everything feels normal. Not happy, not sad, just right. When I think of the past, it feels far away, like another life. I know what happened. I know the story, but it no longer hurts. It lies behind me somewhere, quiet, closed. I open a letter and read it without hurry. She writes about a walk, about a tree she sees each day, about a morning thought. No questions, no explanations. Sometimes I smile. I answer the next day. I tell her about my week, small things, a co-worker, a movie. I write calmly, without pressure, without hopes. I need nothing more from her, not really. It is enough that she exists. A letter arrives on a plain, ordinary day. I remember it later because nothing felt special, no sign at all. I open it, read it, set it aside. I answer as always. Then time passes. At first I do not think about it. 1 week without a letter is nothing. 2 weeks also. I work a lot, I am tired, my mind is elsewhere. After 3 weeks I check the mailbox more often, not planned, just habit. It is empty. I shrug. After 4 weeks I pause. I ask myself if I mailed too late, if my letter has not reached her. I count the days. Everything fits. I write again, short, calm, without a question. I tell about my day. I do not say I wait. I mail the letter and stop thinking. The days move on. 1 month, then another. I notice I walk slower when I reach home. I listen closely for steps in the stairwell. I take the mail and check it harder. Bills, ads, no letters. I feel no panic, no fear, only something empty, something open. I think of her, not of the airport, not of the past, only of the letters, the writing, the rhythm. I wonder if she traveled, if she took a break, if she just forgot to write. I write one last time, longer. I tell about myself, about the feeling that all is fine, that I live well, that I feel thankful. I hide nothing between the lines. I write openly. I wait. The mailbox stays empty. Weeks turn to months. The seasons change. I notice it in the air, in the light, in the sounds outside. My life keeps moving. I wake, I work, I sleep. Sometimes I hold an envelope in my hand that I never send. Sometimes I sit and stare at the table. I feel no sadness, only a slight irritation, like a familiar sound has been switched off. I do not know why she no longer writes. There is no goodbye, no reason, no last word. The letters simply stop. And the strangest thing is that everything still feels normal. I go on, I function, I laugh, I plan. I do not think about it all the time. But sometimes, very briefly, I wonder if forgetting has started again, only this time without a beginning.